And we are going to start, we're going to use our Theraband pretty early on in our practice today. So if you have your Theraband, or if you're working from YouTube at home, if you have a resistance band, and you can even get away with doing a looping resistance band for the work that we're going to do today, just have it handy and nearby. Come down onto your back, find your version of constructive rest. And then if it feels comfortable to do so, hands are going to rest nice and wide on the belly. So we're just going to tune into the breath right away. So give your body a moment to settle into your mat or into your space. Give a couple extra moments here, just that extra bit of time to let everything find its way into that soft settling in. So if you notice, if you're holding still a little tension in your shoulders, your chest, your arms, or in the back of your neck, can you wiggle those places out, let them soften, let your shoulder heads get nice and heavy into the ground. Let your rib cage get nice and heavy into the ground, and then see how soft can you let your abdominal muscles be here. And if you're starting to find that softness in your abdomen, if your abdominal muscles are starting to find their way into that nice, soft, heavy, chilling out situation, now can you think about breathing into the rib cage? So think front to back, side to side in the rib cage, but with your hands resting on your belly, you're still going to feel that movement of the breath. So see if you can just focus your depth of breath into the rib cage, but the work of the breath shows up in your belly. Take one more moment here just to tune in and notice your breath, allowing that little bit of time for your breath to slow down and the inhalation to come in through the nose at a slightly slower rhythm, and then out through the nose at an even slower rhythm if you can find that. And then keeping your hands resting on your belly before we move away from this place of stillness, take a moment just to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. With that intention set, we're going to gently nod the head up and down. So hands can stay resting on the belly. As you gently nod your head up and down, it's going to be a very small and subtle movement. So it's not going to be a big grand gesture like you could probably move your head up and down if you were in a seated position. So the head, the skin, the hair, and all that connective tissue is trapped against the floor or your yoga mat. So you're going to feel that little bit of sense of the back of your head trapped against the floor. Gently nod your head up and down, just in a range of motion that seems appropriate. Take one more little nod of the head up and down, and then head's going to find that neutral position. Arms are going to float up into cactus or goalpost arms, and then start to turn your head side to side. And then just kind of tune in and notice your chest and your shoulders, the armpit chest area. Do you have a little bit of tightness or tension, especially if you did those negative push-ups yesterday? You might be feeling a little bit of muscle soreness in those areas. So take a moment to tune in and notice. One more turn of the head side to side. And then as your head comes back to center, arms are going to float up into our I dream of genie arms with a square across the chest. And then give a couple of pulls of the elbows side to side. This is just to create a little space in the thoracic spine. So moving in the front of the body, but that movement is creating space through the back of the body. Nice. Take one more pull of the elbows side to side. And then arms are just going to float down alongside the hips, and then toe heel your feet in. So feet are about hip width distance apart. And then we're moving our awareness down to our feet and our toes. So inhale and just lift your toes as high as you can. And then exhale, float your toes down. So just the toes, the balls of the feet are going to stay on the ground. Inhale and lift your toes as high as you can. Exhale and float your toes back down. Inhale, lift your toes as high as you can. Exhale, float the toes down, and now go toes and the balls of the feet. Inhale, lift your toes and the balls of your feet. Exhale and float your feet back down. Inhale, lift your toes and the balls of the feet. Exhale and float your feet back down. Do that one more time. Inhale, lift the toes and the balls of the feet. Exhale, float them down. And now we're going to press into the toes and the balls of the feet. Lift your heels. Exhale, float your heels back down. Inhale and lift your heels. Exhale and float them down. One more time here. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, float them down. Left foot's going to stay on the ground. Right leg is just going to pick up just slightly so we can take 3 to 5 good kicks of that leg. So we're just bending in the knee joint, just inviting some movement into that knee joint. Notice how your knee feels. One more little kick of that leg, and then set that foot down, switch over to the other side. Pick your leg up just a little bit, and then just give a couple of good kicks of that leg. Doesn't have to be extreme. We're just moving the knee joint specifically. Nice. And then set that foot down. Now we're going to come back to the right leg, but now we're just going to pull the right knee towards the chest and then set that foot back down to the ground. Pull your right knee up towards your chest and set that foot back down. Do that one more time. Pull your knee up towards your chest, set the foot down, switch over to the other side. Pull your left knee towards your chest and set it down. Pull the knee up to your chest and set it down. One more time. Pull the knee up to your chest, set it down. And now we're going to alternate figure 4 setup. So we're going to pick the right leg, externally rotate, like you're just getting to that figure 4 setup, and then right away pick it up and set that foot down, and then switch over to the other side. Pick your left leg up, bring it over and across. Right as you hit that figure 4 setup, pick it back up and set it down. Come back to the right leg. Pick up your leg, bring it into figure 4. Right as you hit that edge, pick the leg back up, set it down. Nice. Switch over to the other side. Left leg picks up. Find that figure 4 position, and then once you hit it, pick it up right away. Now we're going to go back to the right, but we're going to stay there for one extra breath. So bring the right leg across the left, right hand to the inner thigh, gently push the inner thigh open. Take one big breath. Exhale, release your hand. Pick the leg up, set it down, switch over to the other side. Left leg across the right, left hand to the inner thigh, gently push the inner thigh open. Take a nice big breath. Release your hand. Lift the leg up, set it down, toe heel your feet out super wide, and take some big, generous windshield wipers. We want to bring a little bit of heat, a little bit of warmth to the hips. Nice. Take one more swish of the knees side to side, and then we're going to grab our Theraband. Walk your feet in a little bit closer. We're going to pick up the right leg into a figure 4 position. So you're going to catch hold of the bottom of your foot. You can double loop your Theraband if that feels like a good way to grasp hold of the foot, or you can single loop it. That'll be totally up to you. But then we're going to grab really close to the foot so that we can take that right leg into our figure 4 configuration. Keep your foot firm, keep your ankle solid. So we're going to focus on finding that first so that the ankle and the foot stay nice and strong. Externally rotate the thigh so the knee is pointing out towards the side. And now we're going to apply a little strength here. So we're going to hold on tight to the Theraband. You're going to imagine you're pushing your thigh, your inner thigh away from your chest, and then let it come back in with control. Push your thigh away. Bring it back in with control. Push your thigh away. Hold that away position. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that position. Let the leg come in. And now we're going to push the thigh away. can you release your handhold from your Theraband, but hold that figure 4 position. See if you can hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now unloop your Theraband from your foot, set that foot down, take a second to just notice one side compared to the other. And then we're going to pick up the other leg. So pick up your left leg, wrap your Theraband around. You can double loop it or single loop it. That's just whatever feels more secure to you. And then once you've got a good handhold, we're going to choke up on that Theraband, keep your foot solid, keep your ankles strong, externally rotate the thigh so the knee is pointing out to the left. Hold on tight to your Theraband and now push your thigh away. Bring it back in gently with control. Push your thigh away. Bring it back in with control. Push the thigh away and hold there. See if you can hold that nice, strong and steady position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax and let the leg come in just a little bit. And now we're going to push the thigh away. Hold that strong position. Can you hold that figure 4? Release your hand from your Theraband and still hold it there nice and strong and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Okay, release your Theraband from your foot, set your foot down, take a second, just shake everything out, give your knees a little swish, make sure everything is feeling good. And then when you're ready, we're going to pick up just the right leg. So right leg is going to come into that tabletop position. And now we're going to externally rotate the foot. So we're going to internally rotate the thigh bone, foot's going to come out to the right and then bring it back in with control. Try to keep your knee in line with your hips. Swing the foot out to the side, hold it there for a second, bring it back in with control. Swing your foot out to the side, hold it for a second, bring it back in with control. 2 more to go here. Swing it out to the side, hold it for a second, bring it back in with control. Last one, swing it out to the side, hold it for a second, bring it back in with control, set that foot down, switch over to the other side. Pick your left leg up into that reverse tabletop position, and then we internally rotate the thigh bone, the heel comes out to the left. Hold it for a second, bring it back in with control, but try to keep the knee in line with the hips. Swing your foot out to the side, hold it for a second, bring it back in with control. 3 more to go. Swing it out to the side and back in, swing it out and back in. Last one here, swing it out to the side, hold it for a second, bring it back in with control, pull both knees into your chest, give yourself a light and gentle squeeze, and then a little bit of a rock side to side. Nice. One more little rock side to side, and then we're going to start to find a little rock and roll to come up to a seated ragdoll. So grab the backs of your thighs, take your time as you rock and roll, catch a little bit of momentum, and then once you feel like you've got some good momentum, come up to that seated ragdoll, legs out in front of you, super generous bend in the knees, and then just sink up and over with the belly, reach towards your toes, soften the back of your body, and then just take a couple nice deep breaths. Now notice that just that sense of freedom in the back of your body, the back of your rib cage, now that your back is away from the floor. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly walk your hands up. We're going to walk the feet in so feet are flat on the ground with a nice bent knee position. And then we're going to start with fingertips pointing towards the butt. So we're going to bring our hands behind, fingers pointing towards the butt. Push into your palms, lift through your chest. So you're going to get that big opening through the heart space. Open through the heart space, lift your gaze, take a nice generous breath in. Slow breath out. Release and soften, and then we're going to switch the rotation in our hands. So now we're going to point our fingertips back like our fingertips are pointing towards the back end of your mat. Push into your palms, open through the heart space, lift your gaze, take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. And then release, grab hold of your knees, move right into a seated cat-cow here. Inhale as you lift your heart. Exhale as you round your back, and then just take that at a pace that works good for you. Give a little bit of time to just invite some fluid movement into your spine. Lovely. Take 2 more cycles of breath. And then once you've completed that last cycle of breath, bring your spine into a neutral position, crisscross your legs so that you come right into Sukhasana. And then as you come up to that nice upright spine, right hand's going to touch down, left hand's going to lean over. Take a gentle breath, just open up as much through the side of the body as feels nice. And then once you found a good bit of space, lift off and take it right over to the other side. We're looking for space here. So see if you can just keep your sits bone anchor, reach through your fingertips, find that space through the side of the body. And then once you found it, lift right off and bring it over to the other side again. Reaching through the fingertips, create that space through the side of the body, and then lift off and take it back over to the other side. Beautiful. Now we're going to take it back over to the other side, but stay here for 3 cycles of breath. Wonderful. Lift off, take it over to the other side and take 3 cycles of breath there. Beautiful. Lift up, come through center, and now we're going to rotate just slightly. So rotate so your heart is pointing toward your knees. Fingers are going to anchor on the ground, but we're going to invite that little bit of cat-cow work through the spine. So you're going to lift your heart and round your back, but keep your fingers anchored on the ground. Take one more cycle through. And then as you find a neutral spine, release your twist, take it gently over to the other side. So just heart pointing towards the knees, fingers anchored on the floor, and then come back to that cat-cow work, lifting the heart and rounding the back. Nice. Take one more little cat-cow here. And then find neutral spine, unwind, and take it into an easy seated forward fold. But you just go as far forward as feels good to you right now, knowing that we haven't really truly stretched the low back yet, and the hips might still feel a little cold. So only go to a depth that feels good. And then once you're there, just tune in for a moment. Notice, how do your ankles feel? How do your knees feel? Can you notice that slight bit of compression of the breath in your front space of your body? When you're ready, come up nice and slow. We're going to come into a tabletop position. And just for our setup, if you want to use your Theraband for a shoulder over, place your Theraband over onto the right side of your mat. And then flip yourself up into your tabletop position. And then once you've got your tabletop position, both sets of toes curled under, just take a couple of good rocks forward and back, stretching the toes and the bottoms of the feet. Beautiful. Now, the next time you pull your butt back toward your heels, stay there for an extra cycle of breath. Nice. And then lift up from your tabletop, or lift your butt away from your heels. Release your toes. We're going to step the right foot forward into a 90-90 lunge, but then we're going to swing the left foot just a little bit so that it's kind of pointing towards the right side of your mat so that you can rotate. So right hand is going to stay as flat on the ground next to that left foot. And I'm going to just turn so you can see what my hand's got going on. So my hand is going to be planted up against that foot. And then as you open up into your twist, you might tent your fingers if that feels like it just creates more space. But if you can keep your palm flat on the ground, you're going to reach up and rotate, finding a little bit of a twist here, but you're anchoring the back of your arm against the inner thigh, and the inner thigh is creating that anchor by pushing slightly inward. So see if you can find that little bit of tension of the inner thigh against the back of your arm. Take one more moment. And then release that left hand down, step your right foot back, and we're switching over to the other side. Step your left foot forward, left hand to the inside, right hand's going to reach up, but we're going to think about anchoring against that knee, and you can swing that right foot so that you feel just really solid in your kneeling position. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, with control, release that hand down, step that left foot back, take a second to find your tabletop, and we're moving right into puppy pose. So hips in line with the knees, walk your hands towards the front end of your mat, let your chest and your forehead melt down, and take about 3 nice big breaths here. Lovely. Now we're going to add a little element of strength before we come away from this puppy pose. So spread your fingers nice and wide, reach through your arms. We're going to pull the abdominal muscles up towards the spine, and then think about rounding through the back of the body as if you're trying to round your ribs up towards the ceiling. So find that strength through your center and then release. Let your chest drop down just a little bit, and then do that again. Pull the abdominal muscles up, broaden through the shoulders, round slightly through the back of the body. Beautiful. And then soften, let your heart melt down just a little bit more. One more time here. Pull the abdominal muscles up, broaden the shoulders, feel that little bit of strength through the back of the body. Nice. And then soften a little bit, walk your hands back up into tabletop position. Once you found your tabletop position, curl the toes under and exhale up to downward facing dog. Take a few petals of the legs here. Beautiful. Now we're going to walk our hands towards our feet. So we're going to walk it to the back end of our mat. Walk your hands back towards your feet. And then once you're there, just soft ragdoll fold. So super generous bend in the knees. Let your spine dangle for a few minutes. Just notice your energy level here. Notice how the back of your body feels. Take one more breath, and then we're going to roll up to standing. So super generous bend in the knees, pull the abdominal muscles in, take your time, slow as you can come up. And then we're just going to reach the arms up and then start grabbing stars. So we're going to grab through our fingers, one hand at a time, and we're just going to grab. So like picking apples or grabbing stars, we're just reaching up and grabbing, creating a little bit of space through the side of the body, but work through the hands. So do that grabbing motion so your hands get warmed up. Grab one more star in each hand, and then relax your hands down, tuck your chin down to your chest, roll all the way down to the ground. We're going to roll down into a little ball of yarn. So roll all the way down. Once your fingertips touch the ground, let your heels pick up, tuck your chin into your chest, but then we're going to come back up. So we're going to let the heels float back down, gently lift your butt, take your time, slow motion, pull the abdominal muscles in, gently roll your way up to standing, one grab of each hand. So we're just going to reach and grab up. Reach and grab up. And then once you finish that last second grab, tuck your chin down, bending slowly, roll your way down to the ground into that ball of yarn. So once your fingertips find the ground, pick up your heels, float your butt down to your heels, tuck chin to chest. And then we're rolling back up again, slow as you can. Take even slower than the first time you went. Gently rolling your way up. Take your time. Once you come all the way up, one grab of each hand. And then once you've completed that last grab, tuck your chin down, roll all the way down, take your time. This time as we come all the way down, we're going to take it into our hare pose. So we're going to start with that ball of yarn, your heels pick up, and then you're going to float your knees down, release your feet so that you can sit back onto your butt. Hands are going to find the soles of the feet. You're going to fold over like you're coming to a child's pose position, but then we're going to roll up onto the crown of our head into that hare position or rabbit pose. So first start by finding your child's pose. This might be enough. You might already be there, but if it feels good, you're going to start to let your head find the ground, rolling upward onto the crown of your head. Hands are going to stay connected to the soles of the feet if they can. If you have short arms, just release so that you can just let your hands slide to wherever they officially land. And then if you have anything going on with your head or neck and it doesn't feel good to put pressure on the crown of the head, just stay at the forehead. Just go as far as feels good to you. Take one more moment here. And then when you're ready, slowly release your butt back toward your heels so the crown of the head comes off the ground. Slide your hands forward, and we're moving all the way forward to the front end of the mat. So first, come float through your tabletop position, come down elbows and forearms, and we're moving right into a Sphinx. Walk your feet to the back end of your mat. Float your knees down with control. Once your hips touch down, focus on your hands. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. Press down into the pads of your hands. Draw your elbows back towards your rib. Heart comes forward, shoulder blades squeeze together. Press up through the crown of your head. Notice the space through the front of your body. Notice that little bit of compression in your low back. Take one more breath. And now we're going to add a little strength here. So we're going to pull the abdominal muscles up and the hip points are going to lift. So we draw that strength through our center, broaden the shoulders, pull the abdominal muscles up away from the floor, and then float the hip points back down with control. And then we'll do that again. Exhale, pull the abdominal muscles up, pull up away from the floor. Beautiful. With control, float the hip points back down. One more time, just like that. Pull the abdominal muscles up, Awesome. Float the hip points back down, and then we're going to lower all the way down so that we can come to that crocodile position in the upper body. Bend your knees and swish your heels a little side to side. Nice. One more swish of the heels side to side. Then we're going to just float those feet down to the ground and take it into that central nervous system reset. So we're just going to shake out the butt, wag your tail, let your spine kind of relax in that soft rocking position. Let your head rest on your hands if you can. We're going for about 5 breaths here. So just let your body rock just as much as feels good. It should feel soothing. And if it feels like there's anything that's not soothing, you might want to slow it down just a little bit, but take 2 more cycles of breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly let that come to stillness. Take 1 breath in that stillness. And then gently lift your head away from your hands. Slide your hands alongside the shoulders. 3 low cobras. Inhale, gently lift your heart up. Exhale to lower back down. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to lower down, push your way up through tabletop position, curl your toes under. And then once you're there, find your way up to downward facing dog, lifting the hips and pedaling out the legs. When you feel ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a nice soft fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold, hands glide to the shins, make that nice long spine, and then exhale, soften back down into your fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Inhale, half forward fold, hold that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet, inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. And then just take a second to just make sure you're all situated nicely at the top of your mat. But then once you're there, find that mountain pose. Toes and knees pointing fairly forward, a nice anchored down into the feet position, lifting energetically up through the top of your head. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to interlace the fingers, flip the palms, press the palms forward, glide the shoulders down. And then instead of going up and overhead, we're going to let the hands drop down. So gently bring them down in front of the body. Feel that nice little stretch in the fingers and the palms. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Unlace your fingers, let your hands come down at your sides, maybe even give them a little wiggle if they felt that little bit of stress around the webbing of the fingers. And then inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to switch the cross in our fingers. So do that awkward cross, press the palms forward, glide the shoulders down, let the hands drop down in front. Beautiful. Unlace your fingers, give them a little wiggle, and then let your hands come back at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down to the ground. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step the right leg back, warrior 2. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out, right hand is going to pick you up. Take a moment here just to find that nice bit of reach. So imagine you're lifting energy up from the soles of the feet, up the legs, and then reach that energy out through your fingertips. Really reach in a pose. So one finger is pulling one direction, the other fingers are pulling the other direction, nice and strong. Feel that nice lit up sensation, even light up through your skin if you can find that idea. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, straighten that front leg, pivot your toes so both toes point out to the right side of the mat, a little micro bend in the knees, hinge from your waist, fold down to the ground, let your hands find the ground, take a nice little rock side to side, little mini side lunges just to find a little bit of space in the inner thighs. Lovely. And then we're going to go for a shoulder over here. So if you like to use your Theraband, go ahead and grab it. As you come through center, we're going to bend the knees a lot, roll gently up to a standing position. Bring your Theraband behind the back with as much space as you like so that that shoulder over feels comfortable. And then once you've got your Theraband set up, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold over and let your arms fall away from the back of your body. Take one more breath. Let your hands drift towards the low back. Bend your knees a little bit. Lift from the crown of your head. Come up nice and slow and controlled. Take your time as you come up, and then just toss your Theraband over to the other side of your mat. Turn your left toes to the front end of your mat. Bend that front knee. Float through your warrior two position. Gaze forward. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we're going to cartwheel the hands down to the ground. So spin your hands down, pivot that back heel, come through runner's lunge. Right hand's going to stay on the ground. Left hand's going to reach up for a quick little twist. And then once you hit the edge of that twist, right away, bring that hand down, plant your palms, step back to plank, knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, lower with control. Inhale up to cobra, just as high as you like. Exhale up to down dog or through table to down dog. Beautiful. Right leg is going to lift up into three-legged dog, toe and knee pointing down. And then we're going to take that right knee and pull it towards the right elbow. So pull it in, get a little bit of squeeze, and then hold it. See if you can find that sort of rounding upward position of the back of the body like we did when we were in that puppy pose, just finding that little bit of space. Hold it there for one more moment. Beautiful. And then see if you can just pick that leg up and step it all the way through to the top of your mat. Nice. And then step that back foot up to meet, come to forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Left leg back, warrior two. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out. Left hand is going to pick you up. Once you've got that warrior two position, just find that upward lifting strength. Reach it out through the fingertips like your fingertips are pulling apart and away from each other. Beautiful. Straighten that front leg, point both toes out to the left side of your mat. Hinge from your waist, bend your knees a little bit, float your hands down, and once your hands find the ground, come back to those gentle side lunges, just pivoting from one side to the other. Beautiful. One more little swing side to side. And then as you come back to center, grab your Theraband, bend your knees a little bit, roll all the way up to a standing position, Theraband behind the back, find that good spacing that works for you, or interlace your fingers. If your shoulders are nice and warmed up now, it might feel good to interlace the fingers. But if you like that bit of space, fold yourself over, let the arms fall away from the back of the body, and take about 3 nice big breaths here. When you're ready, slowly release your arms, set your Theraband down to the ground. Slowly bend your knees, roll your way up to a standing position, turn your right toes out to the front end of your mat, bend that front knee, come through your warrior two position. And then spin the hands down to the ground, pivot the back heel. Left hand is going to stay on the ground, right hand's going to reach up just so, just going to reach just to the edge. And then once you found it, float that hand down, plant the palms, step back to plank. Beautiful. Bring the knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, lower with control. Inhale up to cobra just as high as you like. Exhale up to down dog or through table to down dog. Beautiful. Left leg is going to come up nice and high. Three-legged dog, but the toe and the knee are pointing down. And then we're going to take that left knee, pull it towards the left elbow, hold that position nice and strong, and think about finding that rounding up through the back of the body. So abdominal muscles are pulled in, a broadness in the shoulders. Take one more moment, and then see if you can just step that foot through to the top of your mat. Nice. And then when you're ready, step that back foot up to meet. Inhale to half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to down dog. Right leg up into three-legged dog, bend the knee, let the hip roll open, take one breath. And then once you found that opening through that front pocket area, we're going to release that knee down to the ground. So release it so that you can come into a knee down side plank. So once that right knee is down, we're going to rotate. Foot's going to pivot out to the side. Left hand is going to reach up to the sky. Take a nice big breath. Lovely. Float everything back down and around. We're going to bring it back up to downward facing dog. So pick that right knee up, float it into your down dog. Nice. And then pick your left leg up, three-legged dog, bend the knee, let the hip roll open. One breath. And then when you're ready, release that knee down to the ground. Pivot around so you find that side plank position. Reach your right hand up to the sky. Lovely. Float that hand down. Swing it back to your down dog position. Pick up your heels, lower your knees, come through tabletop to extended child's pose. Big toes together, knees to the outer edges of your mat. Pull your butt back to your heels, but a little bit of intention or reach through the arms. Take one more breath. On your next inhale, lift your butt up away from your heels, curl your toes under, exhale up to a downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet, inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, interlace the fingers, flip the palms, press them forward, glide the shoulders down. Now we're going to take the arms up and overhead. Take a little side bend one way. Come back to center, take a little side bend the other way. Come back to center, release the interlace of your fingers and now grab like you're holding on to an imaginary beach ball above your head. Exhale, sink into a chair and then hang out here. Nice and strong and steady. See if you can just focus on that steady breath here. About 2 to 3 more cycles of breath. Take one more inhale, and then as you exhale, fold everything down to the ground. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Step the right foot up to the top right corner of your mat. So we're going to step that foot out nice and wide. And then once you've got that nice wide position, bring that back knee down, release your toes. Left hand is going to stay on the ground. Right hand's going to reach up for a twist. Float that hand down. And now we're going to drop the knee open. So that front knee is going to fall open so that you come onto the blade edge of your foot. And then see how that feels. And if that's enough, you might choose to stay there. But if that feels great and you want to go just a little bit deeper, come down onto your elbows and forearms, and then take about 3 nice big breaths here. Lovely. When you're ready, slowly walk yourself back up. Let that front foot come onto the flat of the foot, curl the back toes under. We're going to come up into 3-legged dog. So we're going to pick that back knee up, slide that right leg back, find your 3-legged dog. Right knee is going to pull towards that right elbow. Hold it for 1 nice cycle of breath. So we're going to pull it in, hold it nice and strong. Send that leg back to your down dog. Switch over to the other side. Left leg is going to step up to the top left corner of the mat. Bring the back knee down. Release the back toes. Beautiful. Right hand on the ground, left hand's going to reach for a twist. Nice. And then bring that left hand down, open up that front knee. So come onto the blade edge of the foot, see how that feels. And then if that feels good, come down elbows and forearms. Beautiful. One more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly bring yourself back up. Walk your hands in, come onto the flat of the foot, pick the back knee up. We're going to slide that left leg back to 3-legged dog. And now we're going to take that left knee towards the left elbow. So hug it in nice and strong. Find that rounding through the back of the body. Hold it there for a moment. Beautiful. And then step it back to your down dog. Take a pedal or 2 of your legs. Nice. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands. Come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. And then just take a moment here to notice your body, notice your breath. You may have generated just a little bit of warmth and heat. So see, where do you feel warm? Where do you feel cool? When you're ready, inhale, arms up, hands meet chest, lifts as you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step the right leg back, warrior two. Drop the back heel, turn the toes out, right hand picks you up. Nice and strong, lift that energy up the legs, up the side body, out through the fingertips. Take one good breath and then straighten that front leg. Point your left toes out to the right side of your mat. A little hip hinge, reaching forward, leaning all the way out. Hands are gonna find the ground. Once you found the ground, right hand down, plant the palm, left hand reaches up for a little twist. Once you found the edge of your twist, release, take it right to the other side. Left hand down, right hand reaches up. Beautiful, bring that hand down, bend your knees, roll up to standing and then float right into your warrior two position. Turn the left toes out, bend that front knee, gaze forward. Nice, circle your hands down to the ground, pivot your back heel. Plant your palms, step back to plank. Lower your knees, lower with control onto your belly. Inhale up to cobra just as high as you like. Exhale up to down dog or through table to down dog. Right leg up into three-legged dog, toe and knee pointing down. Then we're going to take that knee, draw it towards the elbow, round through the back of the body, hold it there for a moment. And now can you pick that leg up and step it through to the top of your mat or just as far as it goes? Beautiful. Step your left foot up to meet, come to forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Now we're going to drop into a chair. So we're going to bring the butt back, bend your knees, float your arms up. Beautiful. Push firm into your feet. Rise on up. Float your hands down. Take a moment. Roll the shoulders down and back. Inhale, arms up. Hands meet chest. Lifts as you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Left leg back. Warrior two. Drop the back heel. Turn the toes out. Left hand picks you up. Find that strength up the legs, out through the fingertips. Nice, and then straighten that front leg, turn both toes out to the left side of the mat. A nice little hip hinge, fold your way down to the ground. Once you found the ground, right hand underneath the nose, left hand reaches for a twist. Release that hand down, switch right over to the other side. Beautiful, both hands down, bend your knees, roll on up to a standing position. Find your way back to that warrior two, pivot your feet, bend that front knee. When you're ready, cartwheel your hands down to the ground, pivot that back foot. Beautiful, plant your palms, step back to plank. Bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, lower with control. Inhale, up to cobra just as high as you like. Exhale, up to down dog or through table to down dog. Left leg up into three-legged dog with the toe and the knee pointing down. And then take that knee nice and strong, drive it toward your left elbow, round through the back of the body. Beautiful, and then step that foot up through to the top of your mat. Nice, step your back foot up to meet. Inhale to half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine, but drop your butt back, find your chair position from here. On your next inhale, rise all the way up. As you exhale, cactus your arms, open your chest, look to the sky. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold down to the ground. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. We're going to roll down into our little ball of yarn again. So pick up your heels, bend your knees. Once you come down into that little ball, tuck your chin into your chest. Awesome. And then just take a second here to kind of wiggle into your toes and make sure you've got as much toe spread on the ground as you can. And we're going to catch a little balance here. So see if you can pick your fingertips up away from the floor. Can you pick your heart up away from your thighs? And then arms just wherever feels good. Maybe a prayer hands at heart center, maybe some cactus arms, anything that gives you a little bit of sense of connection. Hold that balance for just a moment. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, gently float your fingertips down to the ground, sit onto your butt. We're going to come into a wide leg position. So position yourself just so that you can find that wide leg position. I'm just going to turn myself out to the side. But once you've got that wide leg position, just take a second to make sure you feel like you're really good and anchored into your sits bones, even if that means you move some of that flesh of your butt out of the way. And then hinge from your waist. So find that hip hinge and then just walk yourself out to a nice depth that feels like a good sensation. Maybe you feel a stretch or stress in the inner thigh or the groin. Take one more breath. And then come just out of that fold, but keep your legs in that nice wide position. We're going to take the left elbow to the inner thigh into a revolved head to knee pose. So wedge your elbow against that inner thigh and start by thinking about pulling the bottom ribs forward. And then once you feel like the bottom ribs are forward, take that top hand, reach up, but we're shooting to find sensation through that low back side body area. So think where you'd place your hands above those hip crests and the fingertips wrap around where those fingers are. That's where we're shooting to find sensation. So elbow to the inner thigh, bottom ribs pull forward, top hand reaches up. One more breath. Nice. Lift up, take it over to the other side. So elbow to the inner thigh, bottom ribs pull forward, top hand reaches up. Shoot to find that sensation in that low backside body area. And if you're not finding it, just kind of wiggle around the ribs a little bit to see where you can find it. One more breath. And then with control, lift up. We're going to come back to center. So walk your hands out just to maybe go a little bit further than you were the first time. Come back up nice and slow and then see how it feels to just walk your legs maybe slightly wider than they were. And then we're going to come back to that revolved head to knee pose. So left elbow to the inner thigh, wedge against that elbow. But if you're feeling really gummy at this point and you've got lots of flexibility, you can also take it down and grab hold of the big toe. But we would still want that bottom elbow to come to the inside. So those bottom ribs are pulling forward. So you find the depth of that work that might feel good. Top hand is going to reach up. Beautiful. And then come up with control, nice and slow and steady. Take it right over to the other side, elbow to the inside or hand to the big toe. That's totally up to you. Find that reach with the upper hand. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, lift up with control. We're going to grab the backs of the knees, bend those knees, help your legs come together. And then we're going to start to find our way down to the ground. So once you've got your legs together, curl the tailbone under, nice and slow and mindful. Just roll your way down to the ground. And then once you've found your way here, just give everything a second. Let your body find its way onto the ground, rearrange your clothes, get yourself situated. Once you feel like you've found your way down to the ground in a good way, soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. Pause in that reclined butterfly just for a second. Take one breath. Awesome. And then bring the inner thighs together, knees together, toes together. Push your knees in towards each other and hold that position. Hold it nice and strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the knees drop back out to the side. So we're coming back to that butterfly position, but now we're going to add in a butterfly hip bridge. So legs are going to stay on that position, elbows and forearms down to the ground. We're going to use the, not forearms, elbows down onto the ground. We're going to use the elbows for a little bit of leverage. So feet are pushing in towards each other, elbows push into the ground, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips up away from the ground, and then lower back down with control. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips up away from the ground, just as high as feels good to you. Lower with control. This time we're going to lift and hold. So squeeze your glutes, press your feet in towards each other, hold it there. See if you can hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower with control, knees together, toes together, inner thighs together. Push your knees in towards each other and hold that strong position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that position, toe heel your feet so they're hip width distance apart and move right into some bridges. Exhale as you lift your butt up. Inhale as you lower down. Breath connection here is the key. Exhale as you lift up. Inhale to lower down. Take about 3 more, just seeing if you can find that breath connection. Beautiful. When you lower your hips this time, take your right leg, bring it across the left into your figure 4 setup, and then lift the right leg up, thread your hands through, grab the back of the thigh or the top of the shin, just whatever handhold works better for you. Draw the legs in, soften your shoulders, soften your abdominal muscles. Take a nice generous inhale. Even slower exhale. Soften up your grip a little bit so it's not so tight to the chest, and then just wobble your figure 4 just a little bit side to side. Beautiful. One more wobble side to side, and then we're going to release our handhold. Slide your right leg across your left like you're crossing your legs in a chair, and then we're going to re-grab. Grab your shins or the tops of the feet. That's just whatever handhold works good for you, but the toes are pulling away from each other, and then draw the knees in towards your chest with your head looking up towards the ceiling, that neutral position, and then release just a little bit, and then as you exhale, turn your head to the right, pull your knees into your chest. Inhale, release everything back to center. Exhale, turn your head to the left, pull your knees into your chest. Inhale, release to center. We're going through center one last time, so head stays in that neutral position. Exhale, pull your knees into your chest. Release, unwind, and we're setting our figure 4 up to the other side. So right foot down, left leg comes across the right. Lift the right leg up, thread your hands through, find the handhold that works good for you. Awesome. And then soften up your figure 4 just a little bit, wobble it side to side. Nice. And then release your handhold, slide your left leg across the right, like you're crossing your legs in a chair, re-grab the shins or the tops of the feet, pull your toes away from each other, head in neutral position, draw the knees in towards your chest, and then release just a little bit. Turn your head to the left, exhale, pull your knees into your chest. Inhale, release. Exhale, turn your head to the right, pull your knees into your chest. Inhale and release. Head in a neutral position, exhale, pull your knees in towards your chest. Inhale, release. Unwind your legs, step your feet super wide to the outer edges of your mat. Take it into big giant windshield wipers, dropping the knees side to side. Once you've got those knees going in a nice generous rhythm, bring your arms into I Dream Genie arms, or that square across the chest, and then add your arms in the opposite direction of your knees. And then your head can go with your knees or your head can go with your elbows. That will be totally up to you. Beautiful. Take one more time each side or even yourself out. And then we're going to move right into a supine twist. So pull your right knee into your chest, let your left leg go nice and long. Take that right knee over and across the body. How far you go in your twist, totally up to you. Just find a depth of work that feels comfortable. Take one more breath. When you're ready, pull the right knee into your chest. We're going to stretch the hamstring before we release that leg. So float your foot up towards the ceiling and then walk your hand up towards your ankle. Keep a super generous bend of that knee. Draw the knee towards your chest. Lift your nose towards your knee. Lovely. When you're ready, with control, gently release. We're switching right to the other side. So left knee is going to pull into the chest. Right leg is going to go nice and long. Supine twist to the other side. So take that left knee over and across the body. Left arm opens wide, and you go to the depth that feels good to you and take a couple nice deep breaths. Awesome. When you're ready, pull that left knee into your chest. Extend the foot up towards the ceiling. Keep that micro bend in the knee. Walk your hand up towards your ankle. Lift your nose towards your knee. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully release. Maybe pull both knees into your chest just to kind of tune in, take a second, notice how you're feeling, maybe a light little rock side to side. And then ask yourself, where would be your best Shavasana? Would it feel good to come back to constructive rest? Would it feel nice to take it into reclined cobbler's pose? Maybe tuck some pillows underneath your thighs so it's a nice supported position, or any other variation of the body that might feel nice. Take a second to find your way there, and then give your body a moment to settle in. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if you feel ready to do so, or if your day requires it, start to gently reawaken. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Invite a deeper breath back into your body. Any bit of gentle movement here that helps you reawaken. And then if your legs were long in that more traditional shape, pull your knees in so that we can take a little single leg up the wall. And we're just going to shake the leg out. So send your right leg up towards the sky with a little gentleness. Give it a good gentle shake. And then when you feel ready, set that foot down, switch right over to the other side. Bring your leg up and then just give it a nice gentle shake. Nice. And then when you feel ready, set that foot down, and we're going to do both arms at the same time. So reach your arms up in front of your chest and then just give them a gentle shake, like you're trying to shake some water off of your fingers. Lovely. Take one more good shake of those hands, and then in your own way and at your own pace, find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Coming up to Sukhasana, if you like sitting in Sukhasana, but any other seat will do. Lovely. And then once you've come up, if you're wearing glasses and you just like to take them off to have access to the forehead, set them somewhere safe. But we're going to take pads of the fingers right to those 11s, or that space right between your eyebrows. Gently push in and then drag out. Once you hit the temples, pick them up, bring them back to center, push in and drag out. Once you hit those temples, pick up, come back to center, push in, drag out. And then this time, just one hand is going to come back to center. We're going to unfurrow the brow. So thumb to that middle space between the eyebrows. Inhale, glide up to the hairline. Exhale, press into the thumb, gently bring it back to the space between the eyebrows. Inhale, glide up to the hairline. Exhale to bring it back down. One more time. Inhale, glide up. Exhale, glide down. And now we're going to stack both hands right on top of the heart. Bow your head to your heart. Soften your jaw, soften your cheekbones, soften your temples. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and the time that you take to take care of yourself. Take another nice big inhale, and then as you exhale, let your shoulders soften, let your jaw soften, and think about letting go of anything you're holding on to that won't serve you through the rest of your day. And then when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Tuesday.